First of all, I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to the second award ceremony for the Rio-South Texas Education and Community Development Foundation. It's a great honor to serve this organization, and I am going to tell you a little bit more about the organization. For many years, the foundation wasn't a foundation in the beginning. It was a secondary market for student loans. So we securitized student loans going back to 1974. And it began with the focus of elevating the education levels of our region, which is South Texas, which we now call Rio-South Texas, which covers from Brownsville to Laredo. 7 counties, which was the Region 1 old footprint. I believe Region 1 added Brooks, and we did not add Brooks at this point. So there are 8 counties, we're still just 7 counties. I would like to take this time also to recognize our board members. We have 4 of our 9 board members here today. 2 of them have been with the organization over 30 years and have served, in many capacities, the board in various committees, as directors of the organization as well. So there's a lot of merit there, and they've done a lot for South Texas as well as for both of the organizations that I have the privilege to serve. First, Mr. James Moore from Laredo. And Dr. Miguel Nevares. Mr. Walter Reina. And Mr. Jimmy Knotson from Laredo. While they make their way up to the stage, our board chair, Mr. Keith Patrick, sends his regrets for not being able to be here today. He had some personal things that he had to deal with and is not able to make it, but he thanks everyone that is here, and also wanted me to thank everybody for their persistence and what they do for the community and the students and the residents of South Texas. Also not here, Dr. Kelly Nassour from UTRGV, Dr. Joel Solis, David Oliveira, and Mr. Frank Almaraz. That wraps up the 9 board members that serve the RSTEF organization and foundation. So as I was mentioning earlier, the foundation originated back in 1974. It was founded as a higher education student loan secondary market authority. For over 45 years, it served the community by helping hundreds and thousands of students and their families achieve the dream of a higher education by providing billions of dollars in low-cost student loans. And what I mean by billions of dollars, the foundation, it was a federal program back then, and the foundation took it upon itself to discount the interest rates that the federal government was charging. So some of those discounts were as deep as back then 3% of the interest rate that the government was charging. So the foundation has always given back to the community. And also in funding millions of dollars in scholarships back then, for over 45 years. At one point, the organization served over 45% of the students attending higher educations in Rio-South Texas. In May of 2019, the authority transitioned into the Rio-South Texas Education and Community Development Foundation. And I'll call it RSTEF for short, because it is a mouthful. Try to say that all in one sentence. And adopted a new mission. The mission is to ensure residents acquire skills and knowledge and have access to economic opportunities to enable them to pursue meaningful careers and live prosperous lives in Rio-South Texas. The mission is a unified mission with the company called COSTEP, which is the Council for South Texas Economic Progress. I have the privilege of serving as CEO for both organizations at this time, and also my staff, the management team that we have here, which I'll introduce shortly, also takes care of both and administers both organizations. Both organizations have been working together since 1974 to help elevate the education of residents in Rio-South Texas. RSTEF is focused on post-secondary education and workforce development and serves a 7-county region, again, that we call Rio-South, Texas. The foundation provides financial support to other 501c3s, not-for-profits, whose programs result in increased skilled employment and educational attainment for area residents. Since 2019, RSTEF has awarded $9.4 million to programs across Rio-South, Texas. That $9.4 million has been leveraged up to $18.8 million by matching funds. So far, 26 programs have been funded. And some of those programs have been funded for multi-years, okay? And have been awarded to institutions such as UTRGV, the Texas A&M system, both in McAllen and in Laredo College, South Texas College, TSTC, Texas Southmost College, Valley Grande Institute, the Imaginarium of South Texas. Just this year, the awards totaled $2.9 million, and with the match, the impact to Rio-South, Texas is $5.8 million. I'm going to read off a small list of programs that have been funded. So advanced industrial robotics programs, several credit recovery programs. By credit recovery, we mean students that for whatever reason had lost their funding and had to drop out for whatever family reasons, were not able to continue their education, and were missing anywhere between 9 and 12 credit hours to graduate. And so those are the kind of students we're focused on getting back and trying to get them to earn their certificate and continue their higher education. Biomedical equipment grants, career pathways to healthcare, STEM tutor programs, healthcare apprenticeship programs, teacher training pathways, registered nurse programs, medical careers training and apprenticeships, CTE pipeline scholarships, career pathways and supporting services, and various endowments in the areas of graduate and professional students, computer engineering, construction science, and a banking academy, and regular scholarship funds. Again, I want to thank each and every one of you that is representing an institution here of higher education and other programs that help residents of Rio-South, Texas in their upward mobility and getting the skills needed so that they can fill the jobs that are on demand in this region. At this point, I would also like to recognize my staff. I have a small staff, but they're the doers behind everything that happens, okay? They just tell me what time and when to show up, and everything somehow magically gets done. So I really appreciate them, and Rafael, who is our grant manager. Most of you already know him. I know he's under a tight deadline, starting July 1st to try to get these applications assessed and reconciled and see which programs qualify and which programs will be taken to committee and to the board for approval. I'll take time just to thank each and every one of you again. I have the privilege of serving in various leadership groups throughout the region and advisory groups, and I like to see what's happening with the region, it coming together and trying to meet those on-demand occupations that are out there. One of the things that RSTEF stands for, of course, is trying to fill those positions, those employment that have gaps. So we're looking at positions that primarily the first draft that we did, we looked at positions where there was 50 or more positions available a year that actually paid anywhere about $20 an hour, which is roughly about $40,000 worth of start pay. We didn't want to fund any programs that were not in demand occupations in the region. The other thing that the board instructed us to do, of course, is also create or fund programs that were being innovative. And what I mean innovative is in higher tech and trying to attract new industries to the region. What we want to do is avoid that brain drain, try to keep the local residents from here that get educated here, keep them here, have them have good jobs, good paying jobs where they can make a good living and raise their families here in the Valley. I'm not from the Valley. I moved here in 1986 to go to college here, and I stayed. I loved it here. I've raised my family here, so it's a great place to live, a great place to get an education, and I thank each and every one of your organizations for what you do for the residents of Rio-South, Texas. Thanks again for coming here. and we hope to see you next year. Remember, applications start, and Rafael's probably gonna kill me, start July 1st, we go through August 31st, but we're looking forward to 2026 already. Thank you.